About a poor, broke freak. He downloaded an app called Celsius Network. And think of
Please no tapping.
Miles and miles and miles and miles of interest income. Yeah, man, I say that sounds pretty sweet. Yeah.
Every week we bring you a new song from the community.
We have the most creative
Getting better and
community
better.
in all of crypto.
That's for sure.
All right, everyone's piling in.
All right, yeah, all right. Hi, everybody. Great to have you. Amazing stuff is happening. I think everybody finally discovered Bitcoin this week. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. Everybody's running in, right? We've been at it for several years, and it's great to see that people have joined the party. So I pulled out, this is one of these jackets that you use if you're on the floor of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or anything else. You got to wear a jacket that identifies you. So this is the jacket that we're going to be going on the floor. You see the mesh in sky. You see that? So we got fully outfitted here, and I took a picture. I don't know if are we sharing the screen right now?
I can do it right now. Yep.
All right, let's do it. So here is a pic of. I took a pic just earlier of our AUM, assets under management, just over $2 billion, right? And this does not include, this 2.02 does not include a bunch of other stuff. So let's go, I'll show you what it does not include, right? So it does not include about $220 million that are with a third party, right? So we are basically, it's not counted on the blockchain yet, so we need to add that. And it does not include this number right here. We're gonna go look, because we don't count the money we have in treasury, right? So if you look at the Cell token, you say, okay, how much does Celsius have in its wallet? So Celsius has 334 million Cell, worth almost $600 million, right?
Incredible.
$600 million. So when you ask yourself, am I safe? Is Celsius gonna, if something happens, will Celsius stand behind me and make sure that I get my money back? We have $600 million between what we lend out and you collecting your money back, right? Better than any insurance, better than anyone telling you, oh, I have this insurance policy. Unfortunately, I think some of you heard Cred had an event. They've been telling everybody how they have insurance and they have this and they have that. And obviously no one can withdraw any assets out of Cred, right? They froze withdrawals, froze deposits, and the insurance company and the insurance policy means nothing. I don't think it's going to help anybody who's using Cred. So we're going to try to reach out to them, which we're going to try to help. It's not a good thing for us or for you if one of the industry players is hurting. So we're going to try to help the community and help the company, and see if we can, be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. All right.
Yeah,
so
Celsius
moving
has
on.
almost more funds on hand than the FDIC, right?
No, they have 61 billion. So we have 600 million. So we're one zero away from joining the FDIC and having more money than the FDIC. But listen, one day soon, Celsius may have more funds than the FDIC. I like the way you're thinking, So, but my point was that if you add the assets that we have under management plus the asset that Celsius owns, plus what's not on currently in what I've shown you, this chart here is a system that counts our AUM, right? So it just does not count about 200 million. So you're talking about 2.8, almost 2.8 billion dollars, right? Way ahead of everybody else, right? So also you have to remember that a lot of these DeFi guys that when you go and you see, for example, when you go on Aave and you see them publishing a number, that number includes people who basically redeposit the same asset several times, right? So if I go to Compound and I deposit ETH and I borrow BAT and I redeposit the BAT and I borrow DAI, all of that is counted again and again and again. So their net assets are probably 50% or less of what they're publishing because they're not netting the amount, right? Even though it's DeFi and it's supposed to be fully transparent, now I'm getting hot talking about DeFi. So if you're
Getting all worked up.
Hey, Kim is right here next to me. Hi, say hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim, the woman behind the
Kim is gonna
screen.
put these jackets on the site, and you'll be able to buy them. Okay, so that you'll be like a pro trader, wearing the pro. But this is only for hodlers. It's not for traders. If you're buying or selling, we're gonna take away the jacket. This is a hodler's jacket, the one where you don't press any button. You just sit on your hands and you earn yield, and you make a killing. You are the one laughing when everybody else is rushing into Bitcoin at 15,000, right? So let's jump in and see a few things that I've been saying this year and see who's on and who's not. All right, you still sharing the screen?
Consequences to that.
Yes.
You don't just print $3 or $4 trillion and nothing happens. So when the government reports consumer price index or CPI, that does not include the inflation of money. And what we're seeing right now is tremendous inflation of money that is hidden from us. It's like the invisible hand. No one can see that, right? And what that does, it debases your currency. You still go to work, you still earn the same amount of money, but it's now worth 20% less because the Fed just added 20% more dollars into circulation, right? And all of that is not good for us long term. What we're really doing is we're borrowing from the future. We're reaching out to the future. We're borrowing from our children, spending it today to save our lifestyle and our level of income, and we're leaving the IOU to our children. And instead of investing that in the future, investing in infrastructure or rebuilding our supply chain away from China and other places, we are lifting all boats. So we are saving the airlines. We are saving the hotel companies.
So this was back in May, and this is before everybody realized that the Fed printed 20% of all the dollars that were ever printed in history were printed since COVID started, basically, right? And now everybody's talking about it. But my point is that, again, when all that money shows up, that's when people like MicroStrategy or Venmo, PayPal, and so on start really thinking hard. Okay, what are we doing? Where are we going to put our money? Right, and that's when you started seeing that rush outside of the going away from the US dollar and into things like Bitcoin. This is from January this year on the NASDAQ. I was, as you can see, I was still wearing jackets, like nice jackets, not like this Bitcoin jacket I just showed you. You know, this one didn't have a mesh on it. This is an expensive jacket, just hanging in my closet that I can't use for anything anymore.
All right. Now, the U.S., you don't think it's going to have an official digital coin, but there are big corporations that are coming on board with this. JP Morgan, of course, Facebook,
Yes.
and Libra. Do you think that's going to be a continuing trend where individual corporations are going to take it upon themselves to create stable coins?
So you have three kind of groups. You have the open blockchain, which is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and so on. Then you have the private blockchain, so that's like Libra and the JP Morgan coins. And then you have the government blockchain, which is effectively what China is trying to do, right? To issue its own blockchain currency. And those three models effectively competing. Is it going to be an open, like internet-like global currency? Is it going to be corporate-led or is it going to be government-led? That's what the three horses that are competing to see which one of them is really going to win. The world doesn't need all three. So there's probably going to be a currency for the internet, which is going to be a version of the Bitcoin. And there's going to be probably a government. Many governments are going to be issuing blockchain-based currencies. I'm not a big believer in the corporate version, in the JP Morgan version.
So again, CBDCs now are all the rage, right? DeFi is all the rage. As you know, we've been talking about this stuff years ahead of everybody else. If you missed, this is an episode that was just recorded on November 4th. So right a day after the election.
elections began. I say began because we still haven't had the definitive results yet, as you know. Let's talk about that. But before then, let's talk about the economy. Before we had the election, you were telling me offline, even before the election and all this political haywire, the economy was not in a good place. That up. So at that time, Bitcoin was around $9,700. And the headline of that particular article, remember, was 5% of your portfolio should have been in Bitcoin. Now, if you had done that, you would have been $5,000 richer per Bitcoin. So, you have anticipated $20,000 Bitcoin target at the end of the year.
So obviously several times, I think you'll find if you look at different interviews, at least 20 times all year long, even when Bitcoin was $4,000, I've been telling everybody more demand, less supply because of the halvening is going to result in new higher prices, new all-time record this year, still standing behind that. And you're seeing a mad rush into Bitcoin, right? So yes, you have to be careful. I mean, trees don't grow to the sky. So I do recommend as it kind of hits above 20,000 or ETH goes above the $550 level, and those two levels are the levels that I would start trimming. And trimming means you take some of the Bitcoin or some of the Ethereum and buy other non-correlated assets. So assets I still recommend are Pax Gold or Tether Gold, which are, again, non-correlated, not connected to US dollar. And if you're re-investing on owning dollars, then buy USDC or USDT, or convert your Bitcoin into USDT. And by depositing with Celsius, you can still earn 10% a year, which will at least compensate you for some of the inflation. Again, just this year, the dollar had 20% inflation. I know you don't think so. Right. The government told you that there was only 2% inflation or less. But in dollar terms, how much did the dollar lose? It's 20%. So, so these are all things that are very important. And again, you know the old expression on Wall Street, right? You know, pigs go to market, but hogs get slaughtered, right? So don't be a hog, and make sure you diversify as we hit new highs, right? All right, so let's look at what else happened this week. So, all right, so if you missed it, again, Celsius launched with Bitfinex. So if you have an account with Bitfinex, obviously most Americans don't, but all of our international customers, many of them do, and you want to earn yield, you don't have to take your assets out and move them to Celsius and then move them back and so on. You can actually earn yield right inside of the Celsius, inside of your Bitfinex account. So just you can find this buried. Just do a search for Bitfinex space Celsius, and you have links here as to how to do this. And if you have questions,
so a Bitfinex user will be able to transfer their assets to Celsius within Bitfinex and then start earning.
Right. So it's automated. It's fully integrated. You don't have to do anything. You just click a button. You accept the terms and conditions, and your assets are earning interest inside the Bitfinex account, right? And we basically get access to them through Bitfinex. So these are all very good things that are helping. As you know, we partner with Line, who also have the Bitfront and the BitMax brands in Japan and the United States, and several other exchanges. We're about to announce another exchange, I hope next week. So good things are coming. Yeah, so again, just a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin. So again, we talked several times in the last few MAs that there was this 10,000 and 12,000 support levels, right? So we had a hard time breaking through them this year. We went into those ranges several times, and we finally broke the 14,000 resistance level and into this new level that we're at right now, right? So most of the year we struggled with these levels. Again, there was a lot of shorting and a lot of kind of selling from people who didn't believe that Bitcoin should be worth more. But I think, especially recently with the addition of the Cash App and PayPal and all of that brought a mass of retail. Remember, I've been saying that for 2.5 years. If you look at all my presentations, all the way back to 2017, I've been saying that as we hand off the baton between the different participants, everybody was hoping that the last guys to grab the baton are going to be the institutions, and the institutions are going to take us to new highs. Look at who's taking us to new highs. Cash App,
Right.
PayPal, they're not institutions. That's massive. Or Line Corp, 650 million users worldwide, right? So this is all retail. This is all driven by retail. The institutions are just trying to keep up and catch up. All right.
So institutions like MicroStrategy, his average price was like 11,100, and he must look like a genius compared to everyone else. Are we going to see the shift into Bitcoin now from other big companies?
Well, I would say that everybody looks like a genius. Anyone who touched Bitcoin at any point in the last 9 years or 10 years looks like a genius. So my point is that it doesn't matter when you join. Just close it. It doesn't matter when you joined. It matters that you're hodling, right? If you were trading, you missed the windows. If you were trading, you didn't know when to come in. You thought 15,000 was a great time to get out. Same thing with sell token, right? I mean, if you're trading sell token, you're not going to enjoy this run up that we have, 3,400%, right? Let's take a look at it. So
Man, this has been amazing.
Right, but most people who traded, I have people messaging me every day, telling me about, oh my God, what was I thinking? I sold. I thought it hit a high.
Wow.
Some people sold
Incredible.
here, right? It started going sideways, and they're like, why is it going sideways? And we said, look, there's one big ICO seller. He wants to get out at 40 something cents. Let him out. Just wait and see what happens. Boom, right? It got to a new level. Here we had a few people who tried to get out. Fine, let them out. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? So if you're hodling and you believe in the business model and you're watching, again, there's so much information out, right? You can track our performance every day on your app, on Celsius Hub, on Celsians.com, on the information we publish, on the blockchain, right? So again, look at this AUM number, right? Have anyone else show you their AUM? Anyone? There's only one company that has more AUM than Celsius, and that's Grayscale.
And you can look at this AUM as like the income of the community. And as we grow the AUM, we're growing the income of hundreds of thousands of people.
That's right. So for us to be able to deliver, again, 6.2% on Bitcoin, 10% on stablecoin, USDC, USDT, right? Consistently outpaying everybody else. Doesn't matter if you DeFi or CFi or ShmiFi, right? You are not able to stand side by side with Celsius. And again, having the most AUM, right? So we were on CNN Business. This was, I think, yesterday. Sorry.
Bless you.
So we were. If you missed the article, here is the link on top, or you can just do a search, and moving on. I think we went through this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, my co-founder Daniel and Ronnie, our revenue officer, had a great article. Again, if you don't have the link, just do a search for Globes. Very detailed article talking about why Celsius is successful, why we're beating the banks, and all that stuff, right? So what else happened this week?
Announced our big, long-awaited, anticipated partnership with Celsius Network. Celsius Network is the #2 lender in our industry, so this is a really big deal. And currently they are a CFI application, so a centralized finance application that is prolific in the crypto world. So
this is Rob, our partner at Horizon, right? So Zen, if you're familiar with Zen, it's, I think, a top 25 coin. Great project. We love what they're doing, and we're using them as the blockchain for proof of community, or at least one of the 3 pieces of proof of community. We are launching one of the pieces next week. About 70 of you are already beta testing the desktop portal. And next week it will be available to everybody. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to register. When you get your interest payment, there's going to be a link on it, and you just need to generate a code in your app and then click on that link, and basically you'll be able to access a portal that gives you a full view of everything you need to see. But just wanted to point out the Horizon team, great guys to work with, and we're really excited to launch Proof of Community with them. Also, if you missed the Reimagine conference, again, we had a good AMA there with
We'll be watching
Patrick.
this on Halloween, so we hope that you're having a good Halloween. I'm playing Mario today. But before I go on too long, I'm very excited for the guest that we have. I think he has a really interesting story.
So if you missed it, look it up. Also, Tom will add it to the YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll be able to share with you all that content. Also, if you missed the episode, the Moip episode with Brock, who's running for president, doesn't look like he's going to win, but at least
Maybe next time.
yeah, at least he did a great job. I think representing the crypto community and trying to get the word out.
Look at the US dollar. The US dollar is the foundation of the nation's economy. Its reserve status in the world adds about 20 to 30 trillion dollars of value to the US economy. And it is at risk, and it is under threat. It's at risk because of the national debt. It's at risk because of fiscal policy. We are doing things that are eroding the trust and confidence in it. Well, simultaneously, it's under technological threat. Innovation is enhancing things.
So an hour and a half with Brock. Again, I agree with most of what he's saying. There was not a lot of debating going on the Moip show, but definitely if you want to watch it, the link is on the YouTube channel, and we'd love for you to enjoy that. Also, Crypto Briefing, again, another article about how Bitcoin is basically shaking up the markets. So definitely a lot of good content here. They were quoting me and I think a few other people. And the Coin Rivet, another article about the election and about the fact that Bitcoin, again, is not behaving the way it's supposed to, right? It's not the doomsday insurance policy that we all think it is. It's kind of mostly correlated to the stock market. And as we've seen the stock market in the last few days, rip higher. We're seeing Bitcoin.
Yeah, why is that, Alex? Why is it with all this election uncertainty, we're seeing the prices go up?
So right now, a lot of people put their money on the sidelines. They basically, before the elections, they were worried about riots. They were worried about disorder. And it was what's called on Wall Street, it's called risk off, right? What does it mean risk off? It means you don't want to be in the market, right? So the minute, even though the elections are not yet decided, I don't think we know who the next president is.
Yeah, not yet.
But we know that it's sooner or later, the order is going to continue, meaning there's no people with gun running on the streets and shooting innocent people, right, or whatever, right? So that's kind of like the scenario that people are worried about. And now, because none of that is happening, people can redeploy. People, meaning investors and speculators, can redeploy their capital in a much more risky way. So when you put capital back into Netflix or Google or Facebook or Bitcoin, you're taking much more risk than having it sit in cash. So when you see the prices jump up, all that means is that there are more buyers and less sellers, right? So again, money from the sidelines is moving in. And you can see that also, by the way, on, like if you look at, if you go on the top 100 and you just watch the volumes, right? If you look at the volume, for example, on Bitcoin, and you look at the volume on Tether has a much higher volume than Bitcoin. What does it tell you? It tells you, again, a lot of money in USDT is converting into Bitcoin, right? All this run up right here, all of this run up is USDT being converted into Bitcoin or being borrowed, like we right now lending a lot of dollars to traders and to speculators on different exchanges for them to be able to buy Bitcoin on margin, right? And these are the things you have to watch, because a lot of this is just margin buy, right? It's not new dollars; it's just dollars that already are being borrowed, right? So somebody is going to have to repay that, and when they repay that, they're going to be selling their Bitcoin. Also, a lot of people are putting short.
And all this volatility is like really good for our business model, right? Like we're deploying and earning high rates.
Yeah, so during volatile times, we can just charge much more, right? So like if a day before the elections, rates actually dropped, and lending Bitcoin was actually, lending dollars was less than 10%, meaning we were paying more than we were earning for a few days, right? Because it was just going down. Now we're getting something like maybe 20 something percent, 22% or 23%. But it's not going to last. I mean, it's just for a few days. So it offsets the fact that for a few days we lost money, right? So what we care about are the averages, right? Well, what is the average deployment rate? What is the average dollar value? And that's when we either move the income level up or down. We used to be at 11.5%. We adjusted it down because the demand decreased. And if the demand continues to stay high at these new levels, we're going to increase it again, right? So we have to wait for this week, next week, and then make a decision. So
actually, Alex, I had a little quick announcement right here.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry to say, but you're no longer the only machine in town.
I know. Did you go to the Marines or something? I forgot to say. You look like you. Is it just a buzz cut, or did you actually do a few months of basic training in where did the Marines
I'm ready
train?
to go to war with the bankers.
Okay, very good. Just we fight with calculators, not with M16s, or M4s. Right. So just go get your calculator, and
I never go anywhere without it, Alex.
Here we go. You see. So, but this jacket that I have is supposed to compete with Tim Draper. If you guys know, Tim Draper has a tie, a Bitcoin tie that he wears everywhere. So this is supposed to compete with his fashion, style, because now we got, a Celsius version of the what do you call it, of the Bitcoin jacket. So all right. And by the way, the song that I was playing before is from Uber Jeff in Cincinnati. He's our Cincinnati kid. So great production. Thanks for putting that together. I love it. And now we have country music. We got like basically one. The only thing we don't have is like a jazz Celsius song, and a classical Celsius song. We have all the other versions.
Incoming next week. Here they come.
Yeah, we're at 987 concurrent views. So we just need 13 more to break 1,000. So call your friends, tweet them now. Tell them, hey, here's the link. Join us right now. We are going to issue a special promo code during this AMA. You can't get it anywhere else. So definitely, tune in and try to stay till the end so you can get the code. We've added a new option. So basically, starting Monday, you'll be able to borrow against Cell Token with a 33% LTV. Until now, you could only do 25% LTV. So that will allow you to borrow more. That basically us saying, look, we're confident that the price of Cell is going to continue to go up, and is going to stay where it is. And because of that, we're willing to lend you more against your Cell token, right? So instead of just lending you 1/4 of the value, now we lend you 1/3 of the value, right? So that is a good sign. It's a good sign for the community. It's a good sign for Celsius. Also, you have to. Many of you reached out to otc@celsius.network. We sold out of the 2.5 million Cell tokens. That was like the tax payment we had to do for giving the Celsius employees their bonus. The Celsius employees still have to wait, I think, 9 days for it to kick in, because it has to be above $1.50 for 10 days. So I think it will definitely take place. But I wanted to explain the mechanics of what happens when you buy from OTC. And again, OTC at Celsius.network. I keep saying that, and then people email me immediately and say, where do I get the Cell token? I'm like, OTC at Celsius.network. It's an email address. You just go to this old thing called email, and you actually write an email and you press the send button. If you don't know how to do it, ask your grandma. She knows how to operate email. So, but I did want to mention that basically, let's say you bought some Cell token at $1.75, right? So you reached out to OTC, you sent them stable coin, or you send them a wire transfer. Yes, we accept wire transfer for all over the world. And you received that Cell token. What did Celsius get? Celsius got either stable coins or fiat, right? And what we do is we actually go back to market. We don't take that money and buy a new Lamborghini, right? We take that money and we immediately go and put a buy order for Cell token at a lower price, right? So what does it mean? So we basically say, look, we're gonna have to buy 5 or 600,000 Cell tokens next week. So why don't we see if we can grab them this week at $1.50 or $1.30 or $1.20? So if you looked on my birthday, for example, right, on October 5th, Cell token dropped in a few seconds from $1.49 to $1.15. Guess who bought all the tokens at $1.15? Celsius
dip buyer.
The dip buyer that grabbed all those tokens was Celsius Network, right? Earlier today, Cell went all the way to $1.90 overnight. And then some genius went to IDEX and put a market order for how many? Like 600,000 Cell or something?
Yes, over 600,000. Right,
which made Cell token drop to $1.50. Guess who bought all the Cell tokens at $1.50? Celsius.
Yeah, buddy.
Right, so we are reusing all those dollars. Now again, if I sold it to you at $1.75 and then I bought back at $1.50, I bought more Cell tokens, meaning I sucked more Cell tokens off the market. So again, us raising the LTV to 33%, us putting bigger and bigger orders to buy Cell tokens are all indicators that we feel very confident. The company, right, feels very confident that our business is booming. Obviously, we, as I say every week, we have zero bad loans. We have zero loans that don't pay their interest. We have zero, unlike Cred, unlike all these other Crypto.com, all these other guys who are struggling. Celsius is very, very strict at who we lend to, right? So we only lend to the first tier institutions, first tier exchanges. We do not do all kind of unsecured lending like a lot of people are talking about or saying Celsius does unsecured. We do not do unsecured lending. If you, here I'm calling on anyone who received an unsecured loan, go on Twitter and make fun out of Alex Mashinsky. Say, hey, I took a loan. Here's my loan number. I took a loan from Celsius and I did not have to provide at least 200% collateral because Celsius only provides loans to individuals at 50% LTV. We do have exceptions on gold, right? Gold, we give 70% LTV. But 99.9% of our loans are against other assets where you have to put 200% collateral, not 50% collateral or 70% collateral, 200 or 300. 33% LTV is 300% collateral. 25% LTV is 400% collateral, right? So again, I'm calling on anyone to come and say, Celsius charged me a fee or Celsius gave me a loan without at least 200% collateral, right? Come forward. I'll give you $1,000 prize. Anyone, okay? I'm publicly stating.
And that creates the safety, right? I mean, we're doing the opposite of banks. We're not loaning out on leverage. We're loaning out on over collateralized.
Right. So the banking system, it's called fractional reserve, where a bank up until April this year, a bank had to only keep 10 cents of every dollar. Now they have to keep zero. The Fed, being worried about the bank's liquidity, told the banks, you know what? You don't need to keep anything. You can just lend as much money as you want, right? Just come to us.
How could that go wrong?
Right. Like now, we cannot go to the Fed. We're not a bank. But what could go wrong if you need zero reserves and you can lend as much as possible? And if something bad happens, the people, all these guys who idiots who go to work every day and pay taxes are going to bail us out. Don't worry about it. What could go wrong? You know? So, the world we live in, you know? And so let's see what else happened this week. So I'm gonna wait on this special
do you want
code
to talk
because we didn't.
about
We
Argo?
crossed. We had
Argo
1,026. We had 1,026 viewers, so concurrent viewers.
Oh yeah, we're in it.
So can we spill the beans and give the code, or wait a little bit longer? What do you think, Zach?
Let's spill the beans.
Should I wear the
Give
jacket?
people what they want.
I need to wear the jacket again. I mean,
No, please do us all a favor. You don't need to wear the jacket.
you know.
The promo code
all right.
is the new users only GOLD20, GOLD20. Enter that. New users are going to get $20 when they deposit $200 of any asset. Transfer any $200 of any asset.
Any asset or gold asset?
Oh, it's got to be any asset.
Oh, any asset. All right, good. I thought it was only for gold, but you made it a much better deal than I thought. All right, good. So, all right, let's see what else is happening. And so I have another show right after this, so we're going to keep this one shorter than usual. So let's just jump into the Q&A, and so I can answer most people's question. Again, Zach, don't forget the feed because a lot of people want to have their questions answered. Go ahead.
Absolutely.
First question.
Did you want to talk about Argo?
Yeah, so Argo is a public company that's focused on mining. And as you know, when you mine for Bitcoin, you help secure the Bitcoin network, right? The reason Bitcoin never got hacked is because it's the world's largest supercomputer. There is no other computer that is bigger than Bitcoin. And because of that, no one can hack or do a 51% attack on Bitcoin because the hash power, the computing power that you need is not just has to be bigger than the Bitcoin network. It has to be much bigger, meaning you got to go and get the top 20 computers in the world, steal all of their computing power, put it all together into a network, get them to know how to mine Bitcoin, and then try to attack the Bitcoin chain, right? So what we've done is basically we think it's a good investment to fund some of these operations. We only do that in North America, and we only do it for very reputable companies. We lend them money to basically mine, and we get all the Bitcoin, and we get interest from them for lending them money to run their mining operations. So Argo is one. We've done several of these deals, but Argo is one of them, and we'll be issuing a press release about it next week. Also issuing a press release about the AUM with more details. And by the time we issue it, it might be already at 3 billion instead of 2 billion. But here we are, one day at a time. Next question.
All right. From the chat, when are we going to get an update on UK loans?
UK loans are live at this moment. There's over 300 loans pending already. So if you are in the UK, you can
Beautiful.
Yep, you can borrow whatever you want, and against any asset in any amount. It's got to be at least $500. So that's about something like 400 pounds, or maybe a little bit less, and you're good to go. So all you have to do is open your app, right? Log into your app, say take a loan, tell us which asset, and you're good to go. It takes less than 5 minutes, and everybody is pre-approved. If you have assets with Celsius, everyone is pre-approved, right? Because you already did your KYC and you already deposited assets, so you don't really need to do anything. So go ahead, go for the loan, right? Or go home. Next question.
All right, question from Eric. I'd love to earn these high returns in a tax advantage vehicle. Are there any plans for such a thing to work with Celsius?
Yeah, so there's several third-party vendors who do this stuff. I did tweet one of them, and we'll make it more organized. I'm going to find a place on the website to kind of help people And they basically form that Roth IRA or a self-directed IRA for you, and then you can basically deposit through those vehicles. So we will add that to the website. Next.
All right, Sarah's asking, what do you think about the Wyoming crypto senator that was just elected?
Yeah, anyone who's crypto friendly is obviously helpful to the community. I think it's Cynthia Lumens, right? Is her name, and she's definitely Wyoming in general, and she definitely are very good development for crypto. I think there were like several thousand companies formed in Wyoming that are crypto friendly or crypto focused. So we're definitely seeing like this renaissance, or again this surging. It's kind of becoming the Delaware of crypto, right? Wyoming. So definitely a good development.
Right.
Yep. Next question.
All right. Question from Jake. All my friends are asking how to get into crypto now that it's going up. What should I tell them?
Tell them to download the Celsius app and give them your code. You make $20 on that. So just go to your profile, grab a code, send it to them, or post it on your Insta or wherever, and or TikTok or wherever, whatever you're using, and get as many people as possible. I actually do have several announcements to make. Now it's good that you reminded me, because we have several winners for a competition
All right.
you didn't even know existed. So let me just find them. So we decided to give 5 winners $500 each just for being Celsian, right? So one of them is Pien Lin, and Pien Lin made his first deposit in July of 2018, and he's never withdrawn anything. He just made a deposit, and he made another deposit, and never had a single withdrawal. Okay, now that is a hodler. Even I had withdrawal. Okay, so Pyeon Lin wins the prize for being the best hodlers in the Celsius community. $500. We're going to deposit that in your
all right
wallet. You don't have to do anything. You won the prize. Thank you very much. We love you. We want more people like you, right? He sat on his hands, and he made more money than all of us. Any one of us who bought and sold, I bet you, did not do as well as Pyeon Lin. Okay, next winner is the guy who was our 200,000th user, right? The guy who was exactly 200,000. His name is Carlos de la Rosa Lopez, and he is also earning $500 today for just being a Celsius. Right? You don't have to do anything with Celsius. You just sit on your hands and you get money. But sometimes you get it as interest, sometimes you get it as a promo code, sometimes you get it as a bonus. Today you're getting it just for being in the right place at the right time, right? And this is the most amazing prize. I got to give him credit. So Robbie Douglas Wolf, I can't believe this number, but it must be true. Okay, he referred 1,004 people to Celsius. Okay, I referred 164. Okay, and I post my on my Twitter. I post all the time my code for referral code to try to entice other people to do the same. I'm not doing it for the money, but obviously, Robbie, thank you very much. 1,004 thanks to Robbie for delivering this amazing 1,004 Celsians, and I'm sure they're all thanking you as well, because for many of them, I'm sure we changed their lives, right? And the next
that's
prize,
$20,000 in rewards, and that's appreciated significantly over time.
That's right.
So he's killing it.
He's killing it. And if he got it in sale, it's probably worth 50 or 60,000 or even more.
Mm-hmm.
So David Walker has the most different assets. 33 different assets, 33 different coins. Again, more than me. I was shocked about that. I thought I had every asset there, but obviously I don't. So $500 will be deposited in your wallet. And
bam, another one.
And the person who took the most loans, right? Chi Yang with 28 loans since Celsius started. So thank you very much. That is definitely a huge achievement, taking 28 loans from us. We love it. The more the merrier. Again, there is no penalty when you can take a loan and keep it for as long as you want. You can close it whenever you want. When you pay 1% interest, yes, we have a 6 months minimum, but 6 months is $1 or whatever, or $10 for the year. So your penalty is $5. Okay, that's half of the interest if you close the loan a day after you reopened it, right? You have to think about it, right? So most people are like, oh my God, unlike BlockFi, which charges you 2% up front, right? Origination fee, right? All these things that are called something else, you have to know what they are, right? With Celsius, there's nothing. There's no penalty. There's no early termination. There's no, I fell asleep or I slept too late or an inactivity fee or ATM fee or none of that stuff, right? Again, $1,000 prize to anyone who can show me we charge them a fee. All right, so no one has ever won that prize. So 5 winners, we love you. Thank you very much. If you have ideas for other winners, for other prizes, let us know. We definitely want to do this again and again. And we just gave away $2,500. Do you think we can afford it, Zach? Or 1,100
I think so.
viewers?
We should do this every week.
Yes. Yeah, if we look at if we go back and look at this, our balance updates in real time. So if I refresh, let's see where we are. Yes, again, $595 million of value that Celsius holds, right? So again, you can go and click on this wallet and actually see if we ever sold any tokens or when are we selling tokens, right? So sell treasury locked. This is one of the 3 wallets. You can click on it. It takes you to Etherscan and you can actually see the last activity, right? When was the last activity on this wallet, right? So that tells you if Celsius is selling or not, right? And if we're not selling, what does that tell you? If we have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of tokens and we're not selling, the opposite, we're buying, right? Every time it drops, we are the buyer. We think it's cheap. We rather buy it this week during a flash crash than pay full price next week when we have to pay it out to you in the form of interest. So all these things are, like I say,
assets to be paid back in rewards. Like it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. So like I always say, watch what they do, not what they say. Okay. This is our coffee. I don't have coffee. Somebody can get some. I definitely need some coffee. But all right. So next question.
All right. Next question is from Soren, and it ties in with this. How, as a community, are we going to celebrate the 100th Cellionaire? I think right now we're at like 44 or 45, but more and more Cellionaires being created every day.
Yeah, so the how are we gonna celebrate? We have to celebrate all of them. So when Corona is over, we definitely gonna have a big party. We're gonna invite all the top 200. I used to have a party here. We had 3 or 4 events here at the Crypto Castle in this building. For those of you who visited and got free shirts and coins and swag and all this other stuff, and got to mingle and meet some of the Celsius employees. Can't wait to do that again. And we'll do a special event for the top 200. You're invited from all over the world. And we'll definitely get them some all kind of different prizes. But people are already asking me, hey, let's make it top 500. Let's expand it. Why top 200? It used to be top 100. Now it's top 200. If all the 200 are millionaires, we will expand that list. How about that? That's my problem.
There you go. That's good. I like that. Well, let's have it'll become the Cellionaire list, not the top whatever.
The Cellionaire list. There we go. You're already in the marketing department. I can't move you to the marketing department.
That came from the community respect. Thank you for that idea. Okay, question here from Otis. Alex, you mentioned that the 2.5 million cell tokens sold out via OTC, or you sold them all, and that there were still 30 outstanding orders that were going to get that bonus. Where did the tokens come for that? Those 30 outstanding orders?
Yeah, so we have been buying cell token before as well, right? So we have Again, nothing to do with the treasury, nothing to do with those wallets that I just showed you. We have other wallets where, again, we buy, we sell, we buy, we sell, right? So there's always excess tokens in those wallets. Again, there's no no, just to clarify, there's never new sell token being created. Again, you can go to the contract and verify that there's 695 million token, right? So there's no new tokens being created. There's no new tokens being released every month. Like there's like XRP and crypto.com and all these other projects. They just sneak hundreds of thousands, if not millions of tokens on you every week or every month. None of that is happening with Celsius, right? That's why the price of the Cell token is tied to the AUM, is tied to the to the performance of the company. So again, if you looked at Twitter, the guy from Crypto Hub did an excellent job at basically putting a diagram of the correlation between the price of sell and the activity, right? I don't have it. I should have put it on you for you guys to watch it. So I'll pull it out here. Let's see if I can just.
I'm also hearing from the team that we're having record in-app sessions. Like people are logging into the app more and more with this amazing price action and just this bull market kind of coming into being.
Yeah, I think that also has a lot to do with us just putting the what do you call it? Enabling the
Face ID.
Yeah, Face ID and all that stuff, right? So it's much easier now to check your balances and everything else. But it's probably hurting the hodling because now that you can check stuff up, you have more of an urge to sell things. So we, there's always a downside. Any yin and has a yang to it too. So, but anyway, some of you saw it. I don't see it right now, but next question while I'm looking for this. Go ahead.
All right. Let's see. From Sabi, about Bank to the Future, we received our certificate. Are there any further steps? Will shareholders get information going forward?
Yeah, so again, all the updates, best way to get updates is sign up to our newsletter. It's on the bottom of the homepage. Sign up to YouTube, you get notification. Don't forget to click on that button to get notifications. And so all the news are public news. There's no special news that we give to Bank of the Future that we do not publish or share with our other participants, right? So I think the main thing about Bank to the Future is that those people invested at $120 million valuation, 120 million pre-money. They got to sit on a bus next to me at 120 million, and a lot of them were concerned. They were saying, how do I know you're giving everything to the Cell token holders? Is there anything going to be left for me as an equity holder? And I kept saying to them, look, Celsius owns more tokens than anybody else. If the token price goes up, Celsius is the largest beneficiary. So today, as we've shown you, there is close to $600 million just of Cell token in Celsius. So if you got in, so you're basically getting the company for free. Just the Cell tokens are worth 3, 4, 5 times more than the market cap that you paid for the entire company. So I think it's a good investment for those who managed to get in. And again, we kept the valuation low. We wanted everybody to participate. I'm ecstatic that we got 1,043 of all of you, 1,043 Celsians, to take a seat on the bus instead of 3 fat cat VCs, right? So, or 2 or whatever, right? So we have Tether and we have all of you guys, right? I'll take that any day. Next question.
Yep. All right. Let's see. Heidi is asking, I love Celsius, but live in New York where I'm restricted to only a few coins. Will I ever get full access to all of the assets?
Well, we'll buy you a ticket to fly to the country of your choice. No, I'm just kidding. Look, we I think do a better job than anyone else staying compliant. We have zero tolerance to any kind of deviations when it comes to KYC or ML or not following the New York State bit license rules, right? So when they tell us it's okay, that's when we be adding assets. I have no idea when that's going to happen. So Again, you are restricted while you're in this geography. If you move somewhere else, I think your wallet opens up and you can actually use it for other purposes as well. So the restriction in New York State is while you are in New York State. Actually, it doesn't matter if you live in Amsterdam. If you come to New York and you sit in New York and you try to buy or move an asset, you're going to have the same restriction. So I know it does not make any sense, but many of our laws don't make sense, but you still have to follow them. So our job is to make sure that we don't let one bad apple or one bad transaction or a mistake that somebody did even not intentionally allow the banks to force the regulators to shut us down, right? That's what we definitely don't want to happen. So that's what we're trying to prevent. Next question.
All right, question from the chat. Will we ever be able to hold fiat in the app?
So fiat is a complex thing because basically you have to be a bank to take deposits. I mean, that's the purpose of a bank. So we don't take deposits, right? We only accept digital currencies. We don't have checking accounts. We don't do banking activities. And so we have to either become a bank. So for example, we can go to the state of Wyoming, apply for a license, get a banking license, and then we'll be allowed to do many of the things that you want us to do. But that also comes with 60,000 pages of regulation, right? So there's going to be a lot of things that we cannot do because we're a bank. So I think when you watch the OCC and other regulators kind of slowly opening up the doors and allowing banks to do more and more and more, that also works in the reverse, meaning we as a bank will be able to do more and more and more. So there's definitely comes a moment where it makes sense to become a bank because they open the door so wide that the restrictions on being a bank are not as bad as the benefits of being a bank, right? And that's what we're waiting for. So the minute that makes sense, we will get a banking license, or we'll buy a bank, or, you know, some countries you're allowed to buy a bank, not in the United States. But in the United States, you have to apply and have the bank regulators basically approve you. It's a long process, very laborious, and, you know, watch Billions. There's a great episode there of you know, where they're trying to open a bank and what happens to them and so on. So if you want to know how easy that is, Showtime, watch the episode about opening a bank. Next question.
All right, Richard's asking, why do Pax Gold and Tether Gold often have different prices? Aren't they both pegged to spot price of gold?
They are, but they're pegged to gold, just like Bitcoin has different pricing, right? So there are multiple exchanges, there are different spots, and basically they store it in different places. So it's pegged to a different index, and there's small variations in price, right? Again, the main difference between Pax Gold, I think Pax Gold is stored in London and is provided by Pax, which is a great, PayPal is using Pax, right? Paxos. So great company, exceptional. You don't have to worry about your gold disappearing. They're a trust company. They have a BIT license, right? A+. Obviously, we also support their the Pax stable coin. So every one of their product, I stand behind and telling you, you have nothing to worry about. Tether is just a different company, different jurisdiction, different set of assets stored in Switzerland, and you can redeem it. The main advantage of Tether Gold is that if you have enough of it and something happens, you can always fly to Switzerland, fly to Zurich, show up, take your Celsius wallet, just transfer the tokens to the person who sits behind that glass window, and they will give you a bar of gold or kilo of gold or whatever you have, whatever you bought. You bought 10 kilos of gold, they'll give you 10 kilos of gold, right? You can physically redeem the gold and then do whatever you want with it, right? So that is something that is not available from GLD or from Paxos or from anybody else, right? So that's the main advantage of Tether Gold, that you can actually redeem the physical commodity. Next question.
We'd really love for you to do that, Alex.
Yeah,
that'd be great content.
Yeah, so I promised that I bought some gold, and I promised that after Corona is kind of like under control, I'm gonna fly to Zurich and we'll video me going and getting a kilo of gold and I'll try to eat it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Maybe it's probably going to be, they're going to give me one of those Toblerones, Swiss Toblerones, the gold Toblerone. And I'm like, no, it was supposed to be a gold bar. This is a gold bar. Just eat it. So next question. Yeah.
All right, from the chat, Farhan is asking, are you Israeli? Do you speak Hebrew?
כן, דבר עברית. מישהו רוצה להגיד משהו? Next question.
Let's see here. Could you tell us what OTC is in layman's term? Jojo's asking. How is it different from buying or trading on an exchange?
להגיד את זה בעברית או באנגלית? Say it in Hebrew and English.
English, please. English, please.
No, just kidding. I can do it in Russian too. No? How about Arabic? So the OTC is over the counter, right? So it means that most liquid assets trade on exchanges, right? You go to NASDAQ and you buyer or a seller, you just go to the exchange itself, and there's always enough buyers and sellers and market makers. So there's always a bid. There's always a price at which you can buy the asset. For assets that are not as liquid, meaning they need an appointment to trade, right? So Celsius always have a bid on Uniswap or on Liquid or on IDEX. There's always a bid. There's always somebody buying, always somebody selling. But that bid is not big enough, meaning if you want to buy 50,000 sell, you're basically going to eat up the first bid and the second bid and the third bid. And because of that, the price is going to start moving. And you're going to say, wait a second, I'm not willing to pay more than $1.75. Why? By the time I bought my, sell token number 20,000, now I'm paying $1.80. So can I go somewhere where I can give a limit order, a limit price, fill my order? Because you can put a limit price on Liquid, but it doesn't mean that your order is going to be filled, right? So when you reach out to the OTC desk and you say, I want to buy $100,000, and they give you a quote, for sure it's going to be filled, meaning you don't have to worry about it. And I think they give you 2 or 3 days to settle. So the price is actually locked for that period of time, and you're good to go. So or if you're doing a wire transfer, it takes 2 or 3 days and all kind of stuff like that. So the main advantage is that you can fill large orders. You know exactly what you're going to pay. And again, it's done over the counter. It's just an industry term because back in the day when you went to Wall Street, there was a tree, and people came and just basically exchanged physical certificate. That's how the stock market started. So you traded certificate over the counter, right? There was like a counter, and you gave it to one guy and another guy, and you gave him cash. You got a share of General Electric or whatever, and so on. So obviously we live in a completely different world, but we are here to fill all your orders. If you don't think you can fill your orders on any of these exchanges, or you don't want to move the price, also as a seller, it's not just for buyers. If you want to sell large amount, like again, the guy who dropped the price today, if he came to the OTC desk, he wouldn't have gotten a much higher price. He would, instead of selling his, most of his sell tokens at $1.50 or $1.55, he would have gotten probably $1.80 or $1.85, right? Because all he done is created a flash crash. So as a seller, you should just email. Again, if you don't know what email is, do a Google search. It'll explain to you how to use email. But you should email otc@celsius.network, and we will fill all your orders. Next question.
All right. Will Celsius support the Bitcoin Cash hard fork?
We're still looking into it, and we'll get back to you by the next day, maybe.
All right.
Next.
Hello. We'd really appreciate some support in Spanish as well. Could that be added to the team? I think they're talking about the support chat.
Yes, I think there is a Spanish channel, right, on Telegram.
Yeah, on Telegram there is. There's Spanish, French, Netherlands, all over the world, Russian channels. There's all kinds of. Yep. If you're really looking to talk to anyone in any language, Hong Kong channel. I mean, there's a ton of community channels out there.
I know there's one Portuguese and Spanish and so on. So definitely, I would start there. If you have a specific question, you can always email us in your native question to app@celsius.network, and we'll find someone. We have people in I don't know how many countries, probably 20 countries right now. So there's always a Celsian who can help you with the local. Somebody sent us a very long email in Polish, and so one of our new employees, his wife is Polish, and she was tearing it into pieces. She was like, he misspelled this and that, and we're like, hey, we just want to know what he says so we can answer it. But anyway, yes, we will respond to you in your own native language. Next question.
All right, here, big one from the chat. ETH2 is launching. Are we going to be supporting those and paying higher than the staking fee?
Yeah, so think of staking fee as one more leg of the stool, right? So we're definitely going to be staking as well. So when we can't, today, if we have ETH and we don't have use for it, meaning no one wants to borrow it, or we can't put it on DeFi or whatever, and it just sits in our wallet. But with staking, you can actually stake it, right, and earn yield. So the average yield, the average income for ETH holders is actually going to go up, because now there's a floor of 6 or 6.5%, whatever the yield is going to end up being under ETH, which is a very good thing. So if you just stake it with any of the staking services, I think there's like 20 of them already, you're only going to get the staking fee. But what Celsius does is it blends the staking fee plus all the institutional fee and the exchange fees and so on, and the average should be much higher, right? So as a user of Celsius, you should be earning much more than just the staking fee. Next question.
All right, Underwater Frog's asking, you tweeted about the market not having enough sell tokens on it. Is that going to be an issue for buybacks?
Well, what I was saying is that there's not enough sellers. And so there are too many buyers and not enough sellers. So yes, I mean, if Celsius has to go to market and buy at a higher price, that's what we do. We don't have a choice. Celsius cannot sit there and say, okay, sorry, this week the prices are so high, we decided not to buy any sell tokens, right? It's like, do you have to eat every day? Or can you just go and say, I went to the supermarket and the price of bread was so high, I decided not to eat. And I've never eaten since, right? So we have to eat every day. We have to eat every week, right? So the only thing you have to remember is that the higher the price of sell, the less sell we have to buy. So let's say we earned $500,000, or let's use round numbers. So let's say we earned $1 million worth of interest in a week. And if the price of sell is $1, we have to buy 1 million sell. But if the price of sell is $2, we only have to buy 500,000 sell, right? So the higher the price of, but from what we earn, that number stays the same. It's just the number of sell will go down again and again and again, the higher the price is. So we Celsius as a buyer, become a smaller and smaller participants in absolute sell as the price of sell goes up, which is what the whole thing was intended to be. Okay, so we function in exactly the opposite to what the Fed does every day. The Fed is flooding sell tokens into the market, really dollars, but the equivalent would be them coming to market and just dumping sell on the market as much as they can, right? Increasing the circulation of sell. So instead of 695 million that just show up, they just printed 20%. So this would be them printing 130 million sell and just dumping it. Imagine if we showed up and this is not sell from Treasury. This is new sell, right? Like, okay, listen, and the market is down, so we got to print new sell token, right? That is what's happening every day in the financial markets, and everybody thinks that's just normal. Everybody thinks like, well, yeah, it's worked until now. It worked for 1,000 years. Why would it break now? Next question.
All right, here's going to be the last one. If sell goes up too fast, does that cause a problem for Celsius?
It doesn't cause a problem. And we are going to also be a seller in the market, meaning we don't just buy, right? We also sell into the market. So if we feel that the price is going up too much, too fast, we always need dollars, and we will also be selling we meaning Celsius, I'm not talking about employees or whatever. We Celsius will be also selling Cell Token into the market to basically put more dollars on the balance sheet. Again, this is, people will say, hey, it's not good for us. It is good for you, because the more dollars Celsius have, the safer Celsius is, right? So again, if an event happens or something goes wrong or whatever, you want Celsius to have as many dollars on its balance sheet as possible, right? And today, I don't know the exact net amount, I have to look it up, but it's somewhere between 40 and 50 million. So besides the almost $600 million worth of Cell Token, right? It's worth of, it's not dollars. We have somewhere between 40 and 50 million dollars of actual dollars that belongs to Celsius. It's not deposit that somebody gave us, right? These are our dollars that we either earned or we sold some sell or whatever, right? So as you remember, we raised 20 million, right? We didn't use any of those dollars. All the money we raised from Tether or Bank to the Future, unlike all of our competitors who are subsidizing the rates, we are profitable. So we're actually making money, right? So we don't have a need to burn all that cash. We're making money after all of you use your promo codes, after we paid you your rewards, after we gave those winners $500 each, and we paid all the employees. We just paid the employees, right? Or we're going to pay the employees over $30 million worth of Cell Token awards, bonuses, right? So, and we're still going to be profitable. So all these things are just showing you how healthy the company is, right? And again, we'll be filing with the UK authorities pretty soon, as in the company's house. We'll be publishing that. So you should expect full transparency. Again, next week, the desktop portal comes up. If any of you finds a mistake there, you get $1,000, right? This is like the whitehead bounty. So I just gave you another bounty. If you find an error, you found a bug, right? Even if it's unintentional, it doesn't matter. Just let us know, show it to us. Mm-hmm. We will give you a reward. That's what we do, right? You help us make it better. You get to keep the prize money. So again, we love you. Thanks for joining. Zach, thanks again for helping. Let the hair grow a little bit. I think this is too. Okay.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, Kim says hi and bye. And say
hi,
bye,
everybody.
Kim. Yeah, and today we're doing also some what do you call it? We're doing some B-roll here to make sure that we can document this event, the $1.50, the 2 billion AUM, the 200,000 users, the all of this great success that belongs to you guys, right? We are just driving the bus. You guys are the ones making it all happen. You know, you just paid the fares for us to drive the bus. But thanks very much. And the destination, as always, is financial freedom. So thanks for joining us. And I'll let me wait. I gotta add that song. We gotta play it back.
Okay, go ahead.
Celsius Network, tell you helping hand, yes. It's where they make crypto easy and safe. Even my grandma